I think the point of origin is I'm blessed to be able to interact with a lot of our clients and to hear from them. This topic came up 3 times in 5 days, and it came up several times after um, realizing that. So that told me that there's kind of a heartbeat going on, that this is a common challenge or a common question that a lot of our clients are facing. And my background, I'm by no means a branding expert. If you need to rebrand, I'm not the guy to call, but I did work for a major brand doing experiential branding experiences for them. And so I have a little bit of understanding of how brands build affinity through experiences and what good brand building is. I've read quite a few books on the subject as well. And the tension I saw a lot from our clients were that our clients were keenly focused on fundraising, but within their organizations, they would often either have a sister Marcom team that was focused on PR and branding and that type of communication, or it was housed in the same business unit within the organization. And they had a challenge in kind of differentiating them because I would say they are synergistic and they layer with each other, but they have very different purposes in terms of what you're trying to accomplish with your audience. When you're communicating with an audience from a brand perspective, you're building brand equity and affinity and trust and those types of things. You're really championing your brand, your organization, talking about your accomplishments so that people understand that you're a really effective and transparent organization that's worthy of their trust. But when it comes to fundraising, our goal is very different. We're capitalizing on that brand equity and trust, which is the bedrock for people making a choice in what organization they trust to give to affect the cause that they're passionate about. When they see a news story and their heart breaks, often they'll do a simple Google search on what organizations are out there to affect change in that area, or if there's a topic du jour in our culture. And they trust things like Charity Navigator, PR, press releases, things like that to validate that those organizations are worth it. The irony is that people will buy products without blinking an eye and considering whether it's, ethically done or anything like that because they're getting a product. But consumers, by and large, are a lot more critical about nonprofits when they're giving them money for a cause and not for a product. Again, to go back to the different intent, you're not necessarily asking somebody to take a direct action then and there when you're communicating about your brand. You're making an impression on them that's forming an opinion of who you are. And that can be in terms of trust. It can also be in terms of values alignment, whether your organization aligns with their values, things like values mirroring. This is what we believe. This is why we do what we do. Allows that audience to find themselves in that story and to be a part of what you're doing, saying these folks are like me. We believe the same things. And so we're on the same team. We're on the same page. We have the same heart for this cause. And so they feel more confident being involved with that organization. But again, that's the bedrock for ultimate financial support. There are tremendous data insights that you can glean from quantitative and qualitative research. So qualitative being things like focus group and what people say, qualitative being that in mass. So seeing how organizations competitively compare to other peers within what they do. Those things can be very indicative, but ultimately the indicator of traction and support is people putting money where their mouth is. Will they financially support an organization? Will they advocate on behalf of that organization? It's like the age-old branding challenge. When you look at a brand like Nike, they put a logo on a shirt and people pay way more than that t-shirt on its own is worth because they like what that brand says about them. And Nike does a tremendous job of making the story less about Nike and more about their consumer. It's you just do it. It's not we just do it. They don't champion themselves. So they like what that does for them. When it comes to fundraising, you're asking people to give money, but you're asking them to take an action right then and there when they receive that communication. That doesn't matter whether it's a piece of direct mail that they receive in their mailbox, whether it's an email, whether it's an ad they see, social post, SMS. I could go through all the channels. So it doesn't matter what the communication channel is. If there's a call to action and you're at the point of conversion and you're asking them to take an action, that is dynamically very different than telling a story about work that your organization has done. And there is, again, a lot of overlap in brand communication and telling the story of impact and fundraising, because we know that for a donor, seeing the story of somebody allows them to, it breaks that barrier between the organization and the person and helps them understand that they're giving for that person or that cause. Maybe it's, animal care, helping dogs get adopted, that kind of thing. So the difference is I use the analogy of a marathon versus a sprint, because brand building is a slow burn. It's boiling a pot slowly, and fundraising is a flash fryer. Like, you're cooking it real quick. It's an air fryer. You're trying to get it there as quickly as possible and compel an action in response to what they're seeing. Well, I would say I think it's helpful for our clients to understand that they and branding are not in competition, that these things work synergistically. And it's important for each side of the house or discipline within their business unit in their organization for them to understand the difference in roles. And I think that allow them to be more effective in both of those.